All right, 10 things I hate about modern gaming in under 10 minutes. Just to clarify, a lot of these things are not going to be in any specific order, but I think all are more or less equally as important. So, diving into it. Number one, unfinished games at launch. So, I've seen this trend a lot lately where developers will release a game and it is a complete mess. Like buggy, glitchy, not even finished. Things are just not working on launch day. And sometimes it takes these games like years to be completed. I think one of the first games to do it was No Man's Sky, if you guys know that game. Apparently it's in a great state now, but when it released, it was apparently just complete and utter trash. And I've seen a lot of other games do this, and I'm not really sure why. I kind of am sure why, and I'll get to that later. These developers are releasing these half-made games when they're not ready to be released. Number two, release dates that are never final. A couple games that I see this with currently, GTA, Skate, and a game called Light No Fire. These are games, there's probably a lot more. These are games that the release dates keep getting pushed back. And now, to be fair, I'm sure they do that because developers are like, look, we need more time, and I get it. I'd rather them push the date back than actually, release a half-made game, which I just said. But I feel like so many games, they come out with a release date, and you're kind of hyped for it. It's like, all right, it's coming out this year, and then the next thing you know, they're like pushing it back to like late 2026, and you're like, holy cow, like I got another year and a half to wait for this game. And so I get it. I don't want them to release a half-made game, but man, I feel like so many games can't just stick to a release date. I just see it all the time, and I wish they would just push that release date far enough back to where I could get hyped for it, and that was actually the date that the game was coming out. Number three, usage of AI. Now, I get it. AI is huge. It'll be used in just about everything in our lives, probably in the next 5 to 10 years, but there are some terrible uses of AI. Number one that I can think of is what Call of Duty did with Black Ops 6. Their loading screens, a lot of their artwork was all AI generated, and if you looked closely enough, you could tell. They were incomplete images, things didn't make sense. You could tell that they were cutting corners with their artwork, and I do remember reading an article that said they just let go a ton of artists because of AI, and it doesn't look good, and if you play Black Ops 6, you know the product of that game. So I'm worried about AI. I made a video of it a little while ago, but I'm sick of just garbage AI images and usage of AI. Number four, item shops always being over promoted. I get it. These developers have to make money, but if every game I play, the first thing that pops up in my face when I load the game is the new item shop skin, the new item shop this or that, it's a little overdone. Sometimes I just want to get on and play the game, and all of a sudden I get hit with a massive item shop screen right in my face, just wanting me to spend an insane amount of money on this game. Like, if I enjoy the game, I might. In some games it works well. Like Fortnite made the item shop very popular, but every single game now, before I even get in the game, they're just hitting you with the item shop screen. So it's overdone. I get it. They need to make money, but holy cow, let's take a step back. Number five, lack of innovation from large game developers. I feel like nowadays, if you want an innovative game, you have to look at like indie games, because large game developers, these AAA games, they aren't doing it. They're copy and pasting just poorly designed levels, graphics, this and that. Games that we've kind of already seen other people do, and then they just throw it out there real quick. It's a half-made game. They throw it out, try to make a buck or two, and they don't actually try to make an innovative, creative game anymore. It's just this kind of slop that we've been seeing lately, and it's just there's no innovation. You used to be able to rely on these AAA developers, and now it's just not necessarily the case. I'm sure Rockstar will do a great job with GTA, but a lot of these other ones, I just can't rely on them anymore. EA comes to mind. There's a few others that their games have just been absolute trash lately. Number six, these weird kind of inclusion tactics. And what I mean by that is, I think this started, what I can remember, it started in like Battlefield it was like the last World War II one, maybe Battlefield 5. They had like females in Battlefield. I remember when they came out with that trailer, people were like rioting because they're like, all right, there weren't women fighting in the front lines of World War II. Like there were women, helping out with World War II and maybe a few fighting, but like it was weird how they pushed it so much. But now I feel like all these games are like pushing female main characters. I was listening to the Skate developers talking about their game, and they were talking about things like, oh, Skate's super beautiful because you can be whoever you want to be and you can wear whatever clothes you want to wear. And it's like, well, yeah, no kidding, it's a video game. Like I get to design my character. Like we can stop with these weird like inclusion things. Like it's great to have female main characters. I'm not like against it. It's just like it's being weirdly pushed. It's like, look, just give me like a beefy God of War character, like the God of War main character as the guy in a fighting game, right? Like, doesn't that make sense? Like, why are we having these little skinny female characters in these fighting games being the main character? Whatever. Not that big of a deal, but it's interesting how it's just all being kind of like pushed out right now. All right. Let's see here. Number 7. Never owning anything. Like the games you buy are not technically yours, but they are. There's like this weird like legal mumbo jumbo when it comes to like purchasing games. Like technically you own them, but technically you don't. Especially nowadays where you buy all your games from an online marketplace. You kind of own them, but you also have to have like an internet connection to use them because they take all the information from online to run the game. And so it's like you do own them, but you don't ever have a physical copy. So you'd always say that you may not own them. And so if something goes wrong, if like like a Steam, let's say like Steam, for example, I have like 100 games on Steam. If Steam ever goes down or they go out of business or something like that, like I won't have any of those games that I purchased, right? Like I don't have physical copies for those. So that's kind of interesting. And I see a lot more of that going on. Like companies, you'll buy a game through their like platform, and then all of a sudden they'll like quit running servers. And it's like you can't play the game anymore because everything's online. They won't even run a server or anything to help you connect to that game. So it's crazy. I don't like where the future's going with that. Number 8, addiction mechanics. I'm gonna call out CS:GO for this. This started, of course, a long time ago when it came to the loot crates, right? Like all these different crates, you would get them from playing CS:GO, and then all of a sudden you need keys to open those crates. And so people were spending insane amount of money, hopefully pulling a knife, and you create this kind of gambling mindset or this gambling addiction within sometimes young kids, and in hopes of you getting something really good from that box, right? And these addiction mechanics are not just in CS:GO. They use a lot of psychology to make these games super rewarding via like dopamine systems, reward systems, and it gets people addicted to the point where they hopefully spend more money on these quote-unquote gambling tactics. It's not what gaming should be, and unfortunately I see a lot more developers go down this route to make a quick buck, and it's kind of disappointing. I'm not going to lie. So number 9, graphics over gameplay. I see a lot of this too. A lot of these developers push so heavily these incredible quote-unquote graphics, and a lot of times people's PCs, especially consoles, can't even run those graphics. So they're spending so much time on making really cool graphics for these games. And a lot of these consoles and PCs can't even run them. Or if you can, you're not going to get good frames. Like we want good performance over good graphics. Good graphics were good 10, 15 years ago. Nowadays, well, they're good, but we got to have systems that can run it. Last but not least, before we get to 10 minutes, profit first mindset. Number 10, a lot of these companies have a mindset that's like, hey, we don't care. We just want profit, whatever's going to be more profitable. That is why all of these first 9 things exist. They want to make a quick buck. They don't really care too much about the consumer. It's all about corporate companies making profits for the investors. It's a racket. Unfortunately, it's part of the gaming industry. I don't think it'll ever change. I hope something good will come of this in the future, but a lot of these games are just not being made with the same love and creativity that games used to be made in the past. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. More videos to come. Let me know what you think about all 10 of these our topics in the comments below. So anyway, peace.